I'm now going to show you how to use web part templates to create actual web parts in SharePoint when migrating wiki pages from Confluence to SharePoint. So far it was only possible to create either text placeholders for Confluence macros or something that looked like the source Confluence macro but was not interactive at all. So I'm here on a Confluence page that I'm going to migrate to show how that works. And you see here a children display macro, here also in the right section, and in this table there's also a children display macro. And I already migrated this page, and in SharePoint it looks like this. So you have here the links to the child pages, here also, and also in this table. And this is all pretty well, but when I edit the SharePoint page, we see that this is no web part. It is static HTML, so it's actual links in my text editor web part. And when I add child pages here, this will not change. And just for information, I'm using WikiTraccs as well. So WikiTraccs is adding this breadcrumb here above the page, and it's also adding this this page tree here that I can pop out from the right side, and this page has 3 child pages. Now I want this to be actual web parts. And how do I do this? So first I need to delete this page so I can migrate it again. I'm going to the site pages library, select the page, delete it. So now it's gone. I'm also saving this page here in Confluence. And now I already have WikiTraccs open, the migration tool, to migrate this page from Confluence to SharePoint again. And I now have to activate a migration template. And this currently has to be done by renaming a file. So the easiest way to find this file is to click Open Log Folder. This goes to the log folder here. I'm navigating one level up to wikitracks.gui, and here I'm searching for template. So in this templates folder there is a transformation folder, and in here you see several transformation templates already, and what I want to activate is this children HBS. This is a so-called handlebars file describing how the macro should be converted to SharePoint web part, and we will look at that in a moment. So I'm going to take this off the file name, so it's now called children.hbs, and this children name corresponds to the name of the macro. So let's go back to WikiTracks. I already configured my source Confluence base address here. It's running on localhost. I'm using personal access token for authentication. I already configured the SharePoint target, so I just need to click on Start Transformation. Everything should be fine. So the actual migration application is starting. I need to sign in. I'm signed in as Adele. I'm using this account here. Now let's wait a moment until the page has been migrated. So I deleted the page. So one of the 5 pages in my source space is missing in SharePoint. WikiTracks detects that and migrates the missing page. And as soon as this is done, right now I can go back to SharePoint. When I now look at the site pages library, I can see 3 minutes ago, those long minutes, so children display web part usage has been migrated again. And now when I open this page, you already see there is something loading, and this is an actual web part showing child pages here. and this also comes with Wikipack. So, but this can also be done with other web parts from I don't know, from solutions, from GitHub, or from other vendors. And when I now edit this page, you will see that this is an actual web part. So here's a text web part, then there's a children display web part, and then there's another text web part. And on the right side, also a text web part, and this is a children display web part. Now, one thing to highlight here, SharePoint has a pretty big limitation when it comes to web parts, because it cannot web parts cannot be nested. So you cannot put a web part into a text web part. That is not possible. And now when you look at the Confluence page again, I have this children display web part. I put this into this table to just highlight how that looks in SharePoint, because this is not possible in SharePoint. So when going back to SharePoint, what WikiTracks does it puts a placeholder in this table here. So let's make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it. So this is telling you that it needed to move a macro to a web part, and then it adds the children display at the next possible location, and this is below the text web part. And it's also adding additional text here to highlight that the web part has been moved here, and it also gets a number. So if you have 5 or 6 or whatever number of web parts, you will be able to find them again. So, but this is only this only happens when a macro in Confluence is nested or inlined in certain other contents, and then WikiTracks needs to pull it out. But this has not been the case for example, for the child pages macro here. So that's basically it. I just want to have a quick look at the file that we renamed here. So let's open this in Visual Studio Code. And yeah, this looks like that. Basically, what this file tells WikiTracks is how the target page should look, and this for web parts, this file contains a placeholder. It's a HTML div element, and here we have one attribute, data WikiTracks web part template, that is set to true. This tells WikiTracks, okay, I need to generate a web part, and the configuration of this web part is in the script block here. So, and this is telling WikiTracks to use the children display web part that is identified by this unique ID. And yeah, now the question is, how do we get this configuration? You can copy this from SharePoint. So let's go back to SharePoint, and when I add in the address bar a question mark and type maintenance mode equals true, this is a parameter provided by Microsoft, and this shows information about all web parts on this page. And when we look at the children display web part and click on data, so this data is exactly what we previously saw in the HBS file, and this is what WikiTracks needs to know to put into this page to create the actual web part. So this also works for other web parts. And this in a nutshell was how you can tell WikiTracks to create actual SharePoint web parts from Confluence macros.